Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
The Moose, Leafs fan, earlier on predicted Toronto wins by 3 or more tonight. How bad's the massacre going to be in downtown Montreal?
I mean, it could happen. I mean, let's face it. If you're a Canadiens fan, you're already thinking about the draft. Hey, do you think we could get Connor Bedard? Would he look good in the Montreal Canadiens uniform? Because they're going to be so bad this year. And I mean, that's, I think, the biggest problem for the Leafs or any team playing Montreal this year is you're so convinced that Montreal's so bad, you're not even respecting them as an NHL team. And sometimes the Habs are going to end up winning games because other teams just didn't take them seriously. But yeah, it's going to be a long year in Montreal. But for the Leafs, again, this is a make or break year for Kyle Dubas and Sheldon Keefe, because if Dubas goes, Keefe goes. And they've not won a first-round playoff series, and they're banking on Samsonov and Matt Murray to reclaim some of their previous magic and lead them to the promised land. But until they win a playoff round, show me. Like, I'm not impressed. Like, score 50, 60 goals, have your all-star appearances, have all your good social media and your interviews. Like, win a playoff round. Show that you're actually a competitive team in the NHL. Then come talk to me. Because right now it's just all talk.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
My counselor, Rand Teed, he's a national treasure. Here's his one fundamental thing. Don't be a dink. So it'd be pretty sad if the NFL came out and restricted the media even more. Hey, Devontae, you're storming off the field. Maybe, and there's a guy cutting in front of you. Maybe just stop. How about that?
How about that?
That's it. Life comes down to don't be a dink.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Yeah. You know what? We got past the censors with that one. And welcome to the RP Show, everybody. Let me get my bell out. Feel like I'll be ringing it a few times today. It's the last show in South Florida for a while. Heading back to the Great White North for a spell beginning tomorrow. It's going to be a fantastic program today. I'm feeling, obviously, some NFL talk, some CFL talk, but a lot of hockey talk. And we'll be joined by Curtis Glencross, Flames Oilers alum, and Luke Gazdic, the alum of the New Jersey Devils and Edmonton Oilers. He's got some exciting analytics, betting stuff going on. He'll be with us in hour 2. Interesting pre-show preamble about Jim Lang talking about the Leafs and Habs. Let's bring in the Moose right now, Darren Moose DuPont, who I see is not wearing a Maple Leafs bunny hug / hoodie today. It's a Tom Brady one. How much, and obviously I'm opening with last night's NHL leftovers, but how much of the game did you catch from Santa Rebel?
Yeah, I watched pretty much all of it last night, and it was awesome. I mean, from that building being the greatest place to start a hockey season, they did the pregame introductions, and you saw Carey Price walk out with his suit on and, get the ovation that he got. Like, you just get chills, and then to have Toronto, Montreal open the season. So I watched the whole thing, and it was awesome.
Except for the results. Let's hit the quick show, quick six show horn, please. Director Jordan, please. And let's roll with the quick six show horn. Please and thank you. We'll open there. Josh Anderson scored the game-winning goal. And by the way, we're going to call this the morning skate, and we're going to do it every day, and we're going to fly through last night's NHL games as much as we can. And then we'll come back and we'll analyze them. So Josh Anderson scored the game-winning goal with 19 seconds to go as the Montreal Canadiens opened their season with a thrilling 4-3 victory over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Cole Caulfield scored 2 in the victory, and Sean Monahan added the other, the guy that everybody laughed at when the Habs got him from Calgary in the offseason. I'm not going to troll you here, but you did pick Leafs by 3 or more. And I'll just say, do you find it difficult to predict when it's your team playing? Because I do. It clouds your judgment. Do you find that?
Oh, absolutely. And I also find that hockey is one of the toughest sports to predict as well. Very, very difficult.
Interesting. Okay. Out west, Connor McDavid scored a hat trick and added 1 assist as the Edmonton Oilers took a 5-3 win over the Vancouver Canucks after going down 3-1 early in the second. McDavid and Darnell Nurse combined for 4 unanswered goals to carry the Oilers to victory. David Pasternak had a goal and 3 assists to help the Boston Bruins beat the Washington Capitals 5-2 in each team's season opener. Martin Necas had a goal and 2 assists as the Carolina Hurricanes beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-1. Patrick Laine had the Columbus goal. He left with injury. Cole Sillinger had the goal of the year so far in the NHL. He's 19, but don't you know, he went through the entire Carolina team and potted a beauty, the only game for Carolina. The only goal for Columbus. Arturi Lehkonen and Valeri Nichushkin each scored 2 power play goals. Mika Rantanen had 4 assists, and the Colorado Avalanche began their Stanley Cup title defense with a 5-2 win over the Chicago Blackhawks. Troy Terry scored his second goal 55 seconds into overtime, and the Anaheim Ducks beat Seattle 5-4. Mason McTavish had 2 assists in the game for the Ducks. And, that's it. That's the 6 games. I want to say this. I have such a golden opportunity here as afforded to me by yourself and all the people behind the RP show, Darren. Back when I was doing local radio, and you did local radio too. We would read in the sportscasts, for our American viewers that wouldn't probably realize this, only the Canadian team scores. That's it. But where I'm from, Regina, Saskatchewan, the breadbasket of the NHL, it is, I would have scouts come up to me because every team has a scout living there. In some cases, it's the assistant GM of an NHL team, or it's a head scout or whatever. Every team's represented in Regina, and I had a scout come up to me. His name is Brian Raymond. You might know him. He was with the Blue Jackets at the time. And he's like, Rod, I listen to your sports every day at 8:35 a.m. when I'm driving to wherever he's going. And he goes, you just get the Canadian team. What about the Blue Jackets? I rep an American team. I had 1 minute for that sportscast, which they would later trim to 30 seconds for the sportscast, Darren. You couldn't even get through it. And the beautiful thing about this show, we can talk about it however the hell long we want. How awesome is that?
That's so great. You could do your sports update for 60 minutes if you wanted to. Just one straight through. Yes. You can go through every detail. So, no, this is the place. This is where it's at.
I'm probably going to rant on local radio, too, a little later on. But the freedom here that this show provides, I feel like I could never, ever, ever go back. So that's some NHL coverage. And again, I don't want to rub anybody's noses in it, but I'll just say I did pick the Oilers to win by 2 or more. Roll back the tape, guys. And the Oilers won 5-3, but I don't really care whether they win or they lose. And the fact of the matter is I don't really care whether the Flames win or lose. I don't. So it gives me the opportunity to be a little more objective. I'm really starting to fall in love with the Florida Panthers for obvious reasons. And today, one of the Miami newspapers, can you read that? Kachuk may be missing piece to Stanley Cup.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
we got it.
Oh, sorry. Kachuk may be missing piece. There you go. Final piece to get Panthers a Stanley Cup. So they're talking about Stanley down here in South Florida, just so you know. And I feel like I had several other thoughts that are escaping me right now. So I'll just tell you our NHL coverage is brought to you by Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Find everything you need to know about our services, financing, product information, and more at broncoplumbing.com. Okay, moving on, because I said that we'll talk about tonight's NHL games. And I'm going to have some fun with you with this later on. Real briefly, my top 5, bottom 5. Just don't tell anybody that we're doing it, okay? We're not going to do a lot of ballyhoo here. But here's my top 5 in the NHL. Number 1, the Calgary Flames. I'm not moving off that. Number 2, the Colorado Avalanche. Number 3, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Number 4, the New York Rangers. And number 5, the Edmonton Oilers. So everybody in Edmonton, get off my back. So Calgary, Colorado's battle tonight in the Saddle Dome is for NHL supremacy. The bottom 5, are you ready? Are the Seattle Kraken are the 5th worst team. San Jose, Montreal, Chicago, and Arizona is the worst team in the NHL until proven otherwise. And the thing is, Darren, on the 9th floor of my tombstone, which... It's really going to cost you a lot of money to get this thing erected. But I was watching the NHL Network the other day, and Mike Rupp, we all remember him, right? The former New Jersey Devil. He said on NHL Network, the Flames are the best, most talented team in the Pacific Division, but that doesn't mean that they're going to lead the division. And I'm like, I just said that last week. And
How about
everybody was
that?
jumping all over me. So it's lonely and tired to be so it's lonely and tiring to be so far ahead of the pack. It's really lonely when waiting for everybody to catch up. Anyways, we're going to play CFL Deal or No Deal right now for our exclusive betting partner, Bet Regal. And do me a favor, everybody. Go download the app. It's very simple to use. Bet Regal. It's got all the odds there. Sign up for the Play Free Sportsbook. This is what we do every week, where we look at the games, and Darren decides whether he takes the bet or not, because he's far better at betting than me. I actually suck at it. Week 1, my earplug is calving on me right now, so just hang on. There we go. Working. Friday Night Football, Montreal Alouettes at the Ottawa Redblacks. Montreal's favored by 3.5 on the road. And Ottawa beat Montreal on Monday in Montreal, right? 24-18. Now they meet 5 days later in Ottawa, and the Alouettes are still favored by 3.5. Deal or no deal?
No deal. Something's going on in Ottawa. You get the little wind in your sail after the firing of a coach and that coaching change. And I think they still have it. So I'll take the deal. Or no deal, sorry. I'll take Ottawa.
Yeah, I'm with you. And by the way, Bob Dice, and I watched that game on Monday. He is the interim coach in Ottawa. Him and Samuel L. Jackson have never been seen together in the same room, if you know what I'm saying. They're doppelgangers of each other. Bobby Dice is now 4-6 all time. I think there's some head coaches in the league that don't have as good a winning percentage as Bobby Dice. And he's taken over crap teams twice. So anyways, Darren and I are buying Ottawa stock Friday. And then the late game is Hamilton Tiger Cats at the Calgary Stampeders. Stamps favored by 7. Deal or no deal?
No deal. No deal. Too much on the line for Hamilton for the game to be a 7-point game. I think it'll be closer. I don't know who's going to win, but I think it'll be closer than 7.
I'm with you. That's the game of the week. I can't believe anybody would vote for any other game. But I'm with you. I think Hamilton will make it within 7 and maybe even win. Saturday night, doubleheader, Toronto at Edmonton. Argos favored by 6. Can I go first? I'll take the deal. I think it's going to be ugly. Argos favored by 6 at Edmonton. Deal or no deal?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll take the deal.
I can't quite figure out, and I love, everybody knows Chris Jones. I do. And his staff. Great guys and gals. But I see people saying, Jones is turning around Edmonton. How come Sass can't do that? And I'm like, he is. He is. I watched the game. Are you gaslighting me? I watched the game in Winnipeg where they lost 48-11. How are they getting better? And then it is Winnipeg at BC and our odds makers. And when I say our, I mean Bet Regal, because we are married, as Ali said. They're down in Costa Rica. They got the news in Costa Rica at their odds-making facility that Zach Claros ain't going to play because BC's favored by 1.5 at home over Winnipeg. This has greatly changed the line, I would suggest, Darren, that Zach Claros is not playing in this game for Winnipeg because at BC, the Lions are favored by 1.5. So deal or no deal?
Yeah, this group in Winnipeg is so good around Collaros and around this sort, Mike O'Shea, that you switch a quarterback, Winnipeg should still win the football game. I'd say I still got confidence in Winnipeg to win. Not disrespecting BC, but I'm not going to take the deal. I'm going to still roll with Winnipeg.
Wow, I'll take the deal. That's where we disagree. So, by the way, we still have lots of time in this segment of the warm-up, but I want to say this, couple things. Before they escape me, Winnipeg related, because we have a lot of viewers in Winnipeg, and of course there's a Capital dealership there, which reminds me, let me get this out of the way right now. Our poll question today for Capital Automall, Universal Collision Center, Capital with dealerships all across the Canadian prairies. What was the best performance in the NHL on Wednesday night? McDavid's 3 goals, Mikko Rantanen's 4 assists, or John Gibson's 44 saves, or other for Anaheim? And running away with it is Connor McDavid, the last that I saw. We've had some write-in ballots on Twitter, and people are saying it was Jack Campbell's effort in Edmonton. But I'm sorry, even though he threw a beauty of a body check against Dakota Joshua. It was a 36-save effort. I thought John Gibson's was better. And McDavid's going to win the poll anyway, so stop crying, Oiler fans. I'm getting tired of them already. So the Bombers going after a third Grey Cup, and then the optimism around the Winnipeg Jets. Hustler talked about it here yesterday from Winnipeg Sports Talk, Darren. This is the stuff that makes sports talk fun. And our American viewers and listeners, because we're live on WQEE 99.1, your southern home of sports and talk, they can get down on this. They get it. Is Winnipeg the number one sports city in Canada right now, given the Bombers' dominance and the optimism for the moment around the Winnipeg Jets? You really got to sit and think about this for a second. You got to think about it for a second, because Calgary would go, well, it's us. Stamps are always good, and the Flames are my number one team in the NHL. Vancouver, stop. When's the last time anybody there's made the playoffs in Vancouver? Ottawa, same. Toronto, Argos don't even count. The Leafs are a laughingstock. And in Montreal, the Alouettes can't clinch a playoff spot, and the Canadians are up and down like a toilet seat. You tell me who it is other than Winnipeg.
It's a great question. You know, you look at Winnipeg, if the Jets are good this year, you've got the Jets, you got the Bombers trying to win 3 in a row, you got the Winnipeg Ice that are number one in the country. The Bisons are okay too, if you want to go down that road too. It's a pretty decent sports town. Like, it really is. You know, you look at Toronto because of the MLS and the basketball and the baseball and you know, football and hockey and all of that, and that makes it pretty great too. But in terms of being able to wave the flag right now, Jays are out. Raptors didn't win. The Leafs can't get past the first round, right? The Argos aren't drawing any fans. So, no, it's not a lot of fun in Toronto. And in Winnipeg, yeah, they've got all the success right now. So I think it's probably a 2-horse race. Winnipeg 1, Calgary 2, and then there's Edmonton.
Right?
Yeah.
Pardon me. From John Alum in Winnipeg. He has written in the definition of the term gaslighting. It means to manipulate someone by psychological means into questioning their own sanity. I thought everybody knew the term gaslighting, but I guess not everybody's a recovery professional in mental health and addiction recovery like me. That's what gaslighting it is. In layman's terms, changing the facts in a discussion to make the other person think that they're crazy. Fair?
Yeah.
So, look, we'll take a time out. My cousin Christine in Medicine Hat says, Toronto, number one. Says who? Says you. Andrew says, Montreal, Rod. Don't forget the soccer team. Well, I did forget the soccer team. On purpose. We'll continue this. We started something. I knew that we would. We started something. It's the warm-up on the way. Curtis Glencross and Luke Gazdic. It's the RP Show on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and on the radio. Your home of Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Easy snacking all around. something everyone can love.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
It's the RP Show, last day here in South Florida for a while. We're heading back to Canada, beginning Monday from the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. I can't wait to be back there. By the way, having some fun. Let's bring the Moose in from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. Reading some comments from the viewers here. I see some have just logged in and they're a little late to the party. They're going to have to catch up. We're talking about what's Canada's best sports city. I think it's Winnipeg after reading the article written by our intern Stephen Lillick and then after the interview with Andrew Pedersen yesterday. Nelson in the Queen City says the only thing making Toronto top the list is the ability to check off the number of leagues you can watch. CFL, MLB, NBA, MLS, NHL. But that's not what the discussion is. Let's stay on point. If that was the case, New York and LA would be the best sports towns, and nobody is calling them that except them. And by the way, Thomas, watching on YouTube, says, is gaslighting the new buzzword? I don't know. Look it up. I don't know how long it's been around, but I'll tell you, it's in the recovery world it is, and it's important because I think I've been put on this earth not to talk sports. That's easy. It's not noble. I've been put on this earth to help people. So it now has a name. When people lie to you, change the facts and history and make you think you're crazy, there's a name. And the reason I say that, Darren, is people that don't know, I'm supposed to introduce myself to the viewers and listeners now. So say my advisors. I'm a recovery coach in sports, entertainment, and now military. I didn't want to work with the military. You know why? Because I didn't think I was qualified to work with the military. They came to me. And I'm like, guys, I'm not qualified. They said, no, our guys want to work with you. I'm like, okay. So I was talking to one, and he was suffering from effects of PTSD, obviously. Had been seen active duty, was deployed in Afghanistan. I said, no, what you're saying, you're not crazy. What you're going through is PTSD. 100% of soldiers that experience active duty come back to North America with PTSD, and 80% develop addictions. And the guy got up and goes, I'm just glad it's got a name. I feel so much better. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same thing with gaslighting. It has a name now. The concept's been around forever. Anyways, sorry to go down that road, but I just want to tell people that's what I do. So sports isn't that normal. It's just noble. It's just fun. A word from our sponsor, Edo Japan. With freshly made food and high-quality ingredients, Edo Japan is food you can feel good about. I see people writing in with CFL questions. You got to get here on time, noon Eastern every day. We talked about it in the first segment. Point 3, Halifax Mayor Mike Savage said Wednesday that his city is going ahead with hosting the upcoming Men's World Junior Hockey Championship, barring any last-minute issues. To that I say, whew, because we're planning to be there. Yeah. Moving it would suck. Savage said Hockey Canada scandal should not cancel the tournament. And Serena said, they're not going to move it. She was right. I was worried. She wasn't. As usual, she's right. By the way, at the movies, Halloween in theaters Friday. After 45 years, the most acclaimed, revered horror franchise in film history reaches its epic, terrifying conclusion as Laurie Strode faces off for the last time against the embodiment of evil, Michael Myers, in a final confrontation unlike any captured on screen before. Only one of them will survive. Does that sound like something that might interest you, Moose?
Hell yes.
Yeah, it's on my list. I've watched these. This is my favorite series of Halloween movies, scary movies. And I watched the last one at the Landmark last Halloween or 2 Halloweens ago, and I was uncomfortable. That's how scary they're getting. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this is going to go.
Okay. Well, you and I might have to go together. How many times did you see Top Gun?
7.
Yeah, that's a little excessive.
Okay, but I've seen it. I'm pretty sure with 7 different people. So I've talked about the movie, how great it is. People haven't gone, and I've taken them with me. So I don't go by myself.
That's good. Hey, listen, you do whatever you want. You do you. But Serena asked me if I liked scary movies. And I said, well, not really. And I sure the hang don't like gory movies. I hated Texas Chainsaw Massacre and some of those. It was just stupid, you know. And I had a very tough time getting through the real documentaries like Dahmer and stuff. We've talked about that. I'll go to Halloween. Landmark Cinemas is one of our wonderful partners and sponsors. I'm just not the biggest scary movie guy, but I know when I got back to Canada, I'll be going to a heck of a lot more movies. Point 4, the quick 6, Kyle Wright threw 6 brilliant innings to outduel Zach Wheeler, and the Atlanta Braves evened their National League Division Series at 1 game apiece with a 3-0 victory over the Philadelphia Phillies. Jurickson Profar singled in the go-ahead run in the 6th inning of the other game between 2 stellar defensive plays, and the San Diego Padres beat the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-3 to even their NLDS at a game each. Switches over to the American League today. The games are Seattle at Houston, 3:37 Eastern, Cleveland at the Yankees, 7:37 p.m. Eastern. That's the extent of baseball we'll talk today. NFL, Thursday nighter, Washington at Chicago. I want your take on this. Commanders favored by 1. I'm laughing because it's another dog of a game, right? Like Amazon Prime's not exactly getting scintillating matchups. See the Broncos and the Colts last week that people are still talking about. You see what my buddy RG3 said? Who, incidentally, he's my buddy. We didn't just go to a Super Bowl party together. We hung out. I got photos. He said we should all get a free month of Amazon Prime after having watched last week's show. That was the tweet of the week coming out of the NFL Week 5, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely it was. He's been really on fire with the Twitter account, and that was the best one because that was awful.
He's really good. He's really good. Yeah. My guy, RG3. So the game tonight. I was wrong, and that's not rare. I've been wrong, I think, once before. I said Ron Rivera was going to be the first head coach fired in the National Football League, and it ended up being Carolina's head coach, Matt Rule. And we know why. My gosh. How come they don't get brought up in the conversation of the worst team in the NFL? It's always Jacksonville or Houston or Jacksonville. Nobody talks about Carolina ever, or the Jets.
Yeah.
Is brought up in the conversation. They don't talk about Carolina. So, anyways, I should have known it was Matt Rule. But, anyways, so in the coverage I was reading coming out of Week 5, one of the reporters, I think it was Nate Davis from USA Today, said, Ron Rivera and Washington fans got the full Carson Wentz experience. He threw 4 touchdowns, but he threw a game-ending interception to lose them the game. The full Carson Wentz experience. I just get a kick out of stuff like that. There are still some good writers around, you know? Isn't that a funny line?
Yes. It's hilarious. And it's so true. We pulled the TV out on the deck because it was 15 or 18 degrees on Sunday. And we were all sitting around watching, and they're driving down the field. And my dad looks at me and said, oh, there you go. Your Titans are going to lose because here they come. They're going to march down the field. I said, Dad, it's Carson Wentz. He's going to make a mistake at some point in the most critical moment of the game. I didn't expect it to be at the goal line, but sure enough, it was. And that's why Washington is favored, I think, because Carson Wentz can play well. He can throw great football, and he's done that. But he just has to find a way to get rid of the mental errors in the key moments. Otherwise, he'll never, be more than what he is. He'll never grow into an elite quarterback or even a great quarterback in the NFL.
Curtis Glencross and Luke Gazdic coming up as we'll be talking NHL today. I see the numbers on the screen. 902-518-3033. People have written in, and I'll get to those messages later on in viewer takeover. It's Jerry Jones' 80th birthday today, and us Cowboy fans, I told you we're in a text string, so everybody's talking about Jerry and his 80th. And I got to say this, sidestepping sports, I guess. Here's another life lesson. My God, you guys are getting all these free advice today. Stephen A. Smith goes on First Take today wearing an 88 Cowboys jersey. And he's got the long-standing rivalry with the Dallas Cowboys and their fans, right? Well, remember when First Take went to Dallas earlier on this year and Jerry Jones went on the set? He's got Stephen A. eating out of the palm of his hand. Today on First Take, Stephen A. sang happy birthday to Jerry Jones on the air, said he couldn't bring himself to pick against the Dallas Cowboys at Philadelphia here in Week 6. And I'm just like, Jerry went in there like a politician and charmed Stephen A.'s butt off. I was going to say pants off, but I'd probably get canceled for that. But I'm like, you guys don't even understand. Like, literally, Brad Sham, I don't know if you were privy to that conversation, the voice of the Dallas Cowboys said, Rod, you come down here and Jerry'd have you eating out of the palm of his hand. I'm like, no, he has all of you eating out of the palm of his hands, but I can read people. I don't really like Jerry. But all he did was show up on Stephen A.'s show, give him a piece of cake, and all of a sudden he's picking the Cowboys to win, singing him happy birthday. See how easy Jerry did that? That's how he did it. That's what people like that do. Okay?
Yeah, very, very, very talented. It's a talent, right? And he's good at it. And when you're in that position, you've got a little bit of that Southern charm too. And, Stephen A., goes for it. But happy birthday, Jerry.
Fell for it.
Happy 80th. Yeah.
Fell for it is my point. But on the flip side, people wonder why the Dallas Cowboys are America's team, and they wonder why all they do is talk about the Cowboys all day on these ESPN shows. It's because Jerry is everywhere. And what are we doing with this show? We're everywhere. It's why I get so bloody pissed off at leagues and teams that won't do it. Commissioners that have gone into hiding, that you're next going to be seen on milk cartons. Have you seen owners, GMs, players, coaches, whatever? It just drives me nuts. You wanted to hide, and now the rinks are empty, and the football stadiums are empty. Oh, it's because of COVID. Oh, really? Because I saw Rogers Place in Bell Center full last night. Get off your ass and do something. Oh, it's because of COVID. How long are they going to ride that, Moose? How long are they going to ride that,
man.
do you think?
Probably another 18 months, and then it'll be, 3 years after that. Well, people are still broke because COVID, has long lingering effects. Oh, inflation, Rod. Have you seen about the inflation rate, which is a real thing? But again, it's excuses. It's always excuses.
But it's the NHL. They sell out every game. We're not that. They're big league. Well, thought you were big league. That's what you keep telling me. It's what you want everybody to believe. Did you watch the Blue Jays home games where you couldn't get another soul in there with a shoehorn? Oh, it's because of COVID. Right. Hour 2, we'll be talking tonight's 10 NHL games, the battle for NHL supremacy, the Colorado Avalanche at the Calgary Flames. I can see that one too. When the Flames speedboat them, everybody's going to say, yeah, but the Avs played the night before. The yeah, but crowd. All right, Curtis Glencross is next. Moose, I'll see you in hour 2.
Later.
All right. It's your favorite daytime sports talk show, and we'll be right back on the Game Plus TV network, available all across Alberta and BC on TELUS Optic cable. Also Saskatchewan, SaskTel Max TV, and Manitoba, Bell MTS cable, and, of course, all throughout Eastern Canada and 31 U.S. states. We're also live on YouTube and on the radio, WQEE, your home of Southern Sports and Talk, 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Golf, Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033.
Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902 518 3033.
Last day broadcasting from South Florida. We will be back at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino beginning Monday for a 3-week stint leading up to Grey Cup. And I'll be heading through Atlanta tomorrow, where we are on WQEE 99.1 FM. Hey, our next guest, I always like chatting with him from, born in Kindersley, Sask. Glad you asked, where the Clippers are having their alumni weekend this weekend. He's not one of them, but Curtis Glencross joins us from, I think, just outside Calgary, the veteran of 507 NHL games. How you doing, Curtis?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Good to hear from you. Good to be chatting hockey with you, Curtis. And for those that don't know, they should, but 507 games between Anaheim, Columbus, Edmonton, Calgary, and Washington. Can you settle something for me? There's a urban legend that you're the first guy to ever be traded between the Flames and the Oilers. And I looked up your bio, and it said you signed as a free agent in Calgary. What's the story there, Curtis?
It was a signing. So, I went to Edmonton that year. Was there for the end of the year. Got traded the trade deadline in Edmonton to Edmonton from Columbus. It was kind of a salary cap dump for. I was making like almost league minimum kind of thing at the time, and they was a year after the Oilers went on that big run there in 06, 07 or whatever it was, and so it came free agency and. They were wanting to save all their money. That is what they told me, that they wanted to try to get Marian Hossa in there as a big free signing that year. And it ended up not quite working out, so they didn't have any cap space. And I was fortunate enough that on free agency day, that July 1st, that Daryl Sutter was calling and nipping at our heels right away and wanted me to come down to Calgary. And I think by half hour into free agency that morning, I had a 3-year deal on the table with Calgary and ended up coming south. So just kind of ended up the way it did, business side of it.
And worked out great, obviously. But whoever says that you're the first guy traded between the two, I'll correct them. How crazy is that city going? Yeah, how crazy is that city going in advance of the home opener tonight, Flames against the Avalanche?
You know what? There's been a lot of buzz through, obviously, I think the way that Tree turned things around in like a week period there when all of a sudden losing Johnny, and then Chucky wanted to go and that kind of thing. And he's you got to give Brad credit. He's done a great job of filling them spots, and it's been all through preseason. They're excited to have these new guys in town. The guys in town, the guys are excited to be here too, and they want to be here. So it's something where the buzz is definitely going. I'm headed to the game tonight and doing a little bit of an alumni event tonight there. So it's going to be a good atmosphere in the building, and it's I'm looking forward to it. It's even just last night I watched a little bit of the Oilers game last night, and that home opener feeling and that buzz in town. It's just there's nothing like it to get the season rolling.
Absolutely. Now you've probably been asked this all summer. Are the Flames better now, or is it too early to say?
You know what? I think it's too early to say. When you lose the numbers that them two players put up last year, that's big shoes to fill. And we got 2 great players back this year, or 3 great players back in the transaction that did happen. But it's like I said, big shoes to fill. And, I think they're up for the challenge. I watched a couple of preseason games, and the one game I watched, Kadri looked really good out there. And the other game I went to, the preseason game, was Huberdeau's first game. It was kind of the first home game here, and just kind of getting his feet wet, and ended up getting a goal later in that game. But it took him a little bit to get his stride in and maybe get used to the little bit of the thin air here in Calgary. But I'm excited they're going to be a fun team to watch, and there's not many, Daryl Sutter said it himself. He's like, there's not many guys that he's seen or coached that can pass the puck like Huberdeau can. And, to have a guy like, Toffoli on that top line with him and Lindholm, between the two of them, it's, got a couple of guys that can put the puck in the net when they are put in the right situation, right?
You mentioned business earlier, and we did a NHL preview show Tuesday down here. We had Randy Moller there and Nick Cousins of the Panthers, and Moller was saying, We got rid of Huberdeau and Uyghur because of money, It wasn't hockey stuff. It's like they're already saying they didn't want to get rid of those guys, right? So I think the Panthers have a lot to prove, but that's the side of the game that when the trade was made, nobody really talked about that, right? It was talked like a hockey trade, but the Panthers are kind of inferring that it wasn't.
Yeah, it's, you know what, I don't really know all the details on that how it all went down kind of thing. But you know, Tree had to do something. You know, obviously Tampa wasn't probably on their radar, Florida probably wasn't on their radar either right away. To all of a sudden get rid of one of their top goal scorers or one of their leaders on their team as well, right? And it's just, you know, that's a big trade. You know, trading off two big guys like that, that's definitely something you usually don't really see them trades very often. And it's, obviously it's gonna, hopefully it works out for both teams and just kind of a little swap, right? Make both guys happy.
I agree, and very excited to watch the Panthers. They open at the Islanders tonight, so that'll be great. But I'll tell you something, we might go a couple minutes long on this. I won't keep you too long, but I spent 19 weeks between Calgary and Edmonton with this show, Curtis, this spring and summer, and I'm like, how long and how much can you people talk about who's better, Flames or Oilers? Like, it's all they talk about all day. At least we finally get a chance to start getting an answer to that. My God, what a summer of discussion. A great discussion, by the way, but it's all anybody talks about.
It is. That's, it's amazing how the north side of the city and the south are so divided when it comes to the hockey, right? And they got a great thing going in both cities now, in my opinion, and it makes it fun. We talked about in the past, and we've had this conversation before about, we didn't really have that Battle of Alberta feeling and that rivalry for so many years, after the kind of late 80s, right? And it's nice now to have that back in Alberta, and it just, it's great for the province, it's great for the economy, and everyone's excited for it. And it's funny, like, it's like I said, I watched the game last night, but talking to friends from up north last night, they are like buzzing, right? And just pumped for the season and can't wait for the first Battle of Alberta game. And it's too bad, I think there's only 3 games between the Battle of Alberta this year, but it's it's going to be a fun rivalry, and it's good to have that rivalry back. And when we can have 2 teams that hopefully can go deep in the playoffs, it's it's great for the province.
Yeah, I'm excited to get back there next week. By the way, I mentioned and saw that you were born in Kindersley, but I didn't know that you grew up in Provo. We had a guy with the Pats by the name of Russ Hewson. Did you ever know Russ Hewson at all? Played with us in the mid-90s. You know, Huey, big number 28, big head on that guy. You know him? Is he still around there?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's funny because Russ's dad and my dad both ran the auction market together in Provost, and so I knew Russ and his younger brother Steve. They were a little older than me, but yeah, we used to. It's funny. I went to U of A Golden Bears camp when he was at U of A with the Golden Bears way back when they were lighting it up and winning everything when he was there. I went to a hockey school there one year with him, because Russ was there. And it's funny, his son, I ran into this summer at Mickelson National here in Calgary. I just went to drop my kid off at Troy Bauer's kid's birthday party. They went to a launch pad there and going to hit some balls and walk in the pro shop, and Russ Hewson's in there. I was like, what are you doing in town? He said, well, his son is actually, was here trying out for the Hitman. So he's, he told me, he said he's, what did he say about his son? He's like, he's got the size, a little bigger than his dad or the size of his dad, but he can skate a lot better than his dad can. So hopefully he's got a chance.
His dad wasn't bad, but that's a beautiful thing about hockey. And Troy Brower's wife, Carmen, from my hometown, Milestone, Saskatchewan, I played senior with her dad, Eugene. How about that? Curtis, just before we let you go, you do so much with the alumni and charity, and you got an event coming up. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, next week already. It seems like this summer flew by getting this thing organized. We've changed it up a little different. In the past, we've done a rodeo and poker tournament kind of thing. Rodeo and then a poker tournament for our sponsors. It's like a fun money poker tournament that we play just for our appreciation night for the sponsors. And so we changed it up a little bit. Instead of doing the rodeo, we're doing a 4-team hockey tournament with all proceeds going to the Hockey Alberta Foundation and Ronald McDonald House Charities of Alberta. So it's kind of a new gig for us, bringing in 20-some alumni. So we're going to have 5 alumni in each team of the 4 teams, and kind of a real cool personal experience that they can play with and sit there and have that many alumni in one tournament, and then obviously have the rest of the day going after that. But we're excited to do it. First year back doing it, but the sponsorships coming in, it's still coming in. It's been good. But the response I got, like you were talking about our alumni here in Calgary and the guys that we do have around and in Alberta from other teams, and the response I got back from the guys when I first put this together and the crew of guys we got coming is pretty awesome. And I'm excited to kick her off next week and see how we can grow it for the next year and build it. But it's going to be a fun event, and can't wait to get her going next week.
Awesome. Well, let us know how we can help. And Curtis, I hope for sure to get you down to the Grey Eagle at some point for a show. Enjoy the game tonight. Thanks for the time, Curtis. You're such a great guy. Thanks for that, and appreciate the time.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. We'll chat soon.
Curtis Glencross joining us from Alberta. We'll be back with a viewer takeover. Luke Gazdic coming up in hour 2. It's the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, your favorite podcast platform, and, of course, on the radio, your home of Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
I gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
We went a little long with Curtis Glencross, but that's okay. Everybody loved it. Corey May, watching online, says, I love hearing from NHL veterans like Curtis. Allie down in Texarkana says, good interview. I love when players support the franchise even after their time has ended. It's the best, the best. And speaking of that, Curtis Glencross was at that golf tournament that I was at, charity golf tournament for Rocky Mountain Rotary in June, where we did the show from there. Remember, guys? And I came in and emceed the supper that night. And the reason I bring that up was I singled out Bo Levi Mitchell. He was one of the 19 celebrities in the crowd. Who would have thought then, I think it was June 15th, that he wouldn't even be playing a few months later for the Calgary Stampeders. That's how you never know. You never know how things are going to go. Show up, do your best, make the world a better place, be kind when you don't have viewers annoying you. And that's the secret. Sports update. Let's do it again. What the heck? The Calgary Flames open their regular season at home tonight as they welcome the defending Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche at the Scotiabank Saddledome. I say this is the top two teams in the Western Conference. Let's get it on because we don't get along. Tonight's winner will achieve NHL supremacy for one night. The Toronto Maple Leafs play the second game of a back-to-back with opener against the Washington Capitals. Their home opener against the Caps tonight. The Leafs coming off a 4-3 loss at the Montreal Canadiens. Wednesday night, Josh Anderson scoring the winner with 19 seconds to go. Ottawa Senators taking to the ice in Buffalo in their regular season opener. We have at least one Sabres fan watching. It's Jenna down in Southern California. There's your daily Buffalo Sabres update. Halifax Mayor Mike Savage says that his city is going ahead with hosting the upcoming Men's World Junior Hockey Championships. And again, barring any last-minute issues, Savage also said Hockey Canada scandal should not cancel the tournament. He's the guy that initially said they were going to, so actually was the premier of Nova Scotia. So thank you, Mike. I like that, Mike. Last minute of play in hour one. I like that mayor of Halifax, Mike Savage. Is he a right-wing guy? Can anybody tell me? He must be. Two of Curling Canada's prominent supporters are rolling their support behind an upcoming international curling event in Canada next April. BKT Tires and OK Tire will continue their partnership with Curling Canada and the World Curling Federation as the title sponsors of the World Men's Curling Championship. So the 2023 BK Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship is scheduled for TD Place in Ottawa, April 1st to the 9th. This sports update for Edo Japan with freshly made food and high-quality ingredients. Edo Japan is food you can feel good about. Gonna stretch the back in the break here. Moose will rejoin us in hour two. We got a lot to get to. Stick around, everybody, here on Game Plus and WQEE Radio.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
I gotta hit the beat.
dark horse bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Golf, Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
My counselor, Rand Teed, he's a national treasure. Here's his one fundamental thing. Don't be a dink. So it'd be pretty sad if the NFL came out and restricted the media even more. Hey, Devontae, you're storming off the field. Maybe if there's a guy cutting in front of you, maybe just stop. How about that?
How about that?
That's it. Life comes down to don't be a dink.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Okay, here we go. It's hour 2. It's your boy coming at you from South Florida for the last day for a while. And who knows what's going to come up here in hour 2. I got a pretty good idea, but you never know how it's going to go, right? As we welcome back in from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle, the Moose, Darren Moose DuPont, who's still licking his wounds from the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-3 loss at the Montreal Canadiens on Wednesday night, and we're working our way towards tonight's 10-game NHL slate, and I got all the games written down, Moose. We could, if we were on the NHL Network or something like that, if we were doing all one sport, wouldn't that be fun? And we could do all NFL if we wanted to on that channel. We could do all CFL. We could do all NHL, what have you. But did you lose any sleep over the Leafs losing last night in Montreal, by the way?
No, I didn't, but it's just frustrating with this group because, you watch the game and they're the better team on the ice. There's no question. You've got, Toronto and up near the top of the league, and you got Montreal in your bottom 5. Like that's all fine. We all are on the same page there, but it feels like the team is, got enough skill that they don't really care. Like they're pretty complacent, controlling the puck, controlling the play, controlling the shot clock. And then Montreal scores to go up in the game 3-2. And then Toronto's like, oh, we better play now. Go back, score a minute later, tie the game. And then Montreal scores with 17 seconds left and they don't do anything. There's no urgency there with this group. And to me, all signs point back to culture and Sheldon Keefe. And, is this the right guy coaching this group? And I don't know if it is.
Well, it's funny. How about the females weighing in? Allie in Texarkana says it's way too early to be losing sleep. Yeah, right? But tell that to a Leaf fan. Tell that to any fan. of any team. For instance, I saw the interview with Mikko Rantanen after the game last night on, I guess it was Altitude Sports. Of course, I'm watching NHL Network. Darren, it's so good. They spent at least 5-6 minutes of highlights on every game. And TSN, not TSN's fault, they fly through it because they got other sports to get to. See what I'm saying? NHL Network is all NHL. It's so good. It's like Fantasyland for hockey fans. And they interviewed Mikko Rantanen after, and the reporter said, hey, you might be leading the NHL in scoring after tonight's game with 4 assists. And he was literally, I got 81 games to go. He's like, which is the obvious answer, but not everybody looks at it that way. He said one step at a time, and can't be looking ahead, so it was a good answer. Jenna, watching in Southern California, says it's getting closer to Sabres game time. Let's go, Buffalo. Said only people from Buffalo and Southern California. But I'll say something. This is a win for the Sabres. They're not in my bottom 5. I wasn't going to do top 5, bottom 5, but then I thought, well, this is my last day because I'm going to Atlanta tomorrow, then to Sask. And we are on the air on WQEE right now, 99.1 FM, your home of Southern sports and talk. This would be the day to do it. Top 5, bottom 5. So for those that didn't listen last hour or weren't watching last hour, my top 5. You mentioned I had the Leafs in the top 5. I did not.
No, I didn't say you had them in the top 5. I remember.
Oh, I thought you did.
I just said we had them near. They're always near the top of the league.
Okay. Number 1, the Calgary Flames. These viewers are gaslighting me. For the longest time, I was starting to think that I was crazy. God knows I've been accused of it by so many people. And it was Mike Rupp who said yesterday, or was it yesterday, the day before, he said the Flames are the most talented team in their division, but it doesn't mean they'll finish first, which is exactly what I was saying, and people didn't get it. But he wasn't saying they're the best team in the NHL. I was, but it's along the same point. I got the Calgary Flames, number 1. Number 2, the Colorado Avalanche. Number 3, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Number 4, the New York Rangers. And number 5, the Edmonton Oilers. I don't have Florida in because I watched them live in the preseason, and this team, they got a lot to prove. They have a lot to prove. I watched how many games last year here? 30 at home? And Huberdeau and Weegar were such big parts of the team, and now they're gone. And they got a new head coach, and they just got a lot to prove. And as far as the Leafs go, they're still the Leafs until they prove to me that they're not the Leafs. And going in and losing in Montreal last night didn't make me think anything different. And by the way, the Habs had the 2 power plays early and they didn't score. Were you thinking that was a good sign for the Leafs, that if they just hung around a little longer, that they'd have a chance to win it in the end?
Well, I just thought they would. The penalty kill looked pretty good early. They were just playing like a team that knew they were better than Montreal. And it's like a team that doesn't think you need to actually put in work. This is an NHL team against young, hungry players who are trying to prove themselves. Montreal was the team that wanted to win that game.
It's the same old story. I can see why Leaf fans, guys like Jim Lang, are upset. Who's 15 for Toronto? Who's 15?
Kerfoot.
He had the penalty shot. That's Kerfoot, and he didn't score. Right?
That's right.
Not that doesn't mean he doesn't care, but the Leafs didn't do anything to dispel why I don't have them in my top 5. And by the way, the viewers are writing in about the bottom 5, and I didn't forget those. Here are mine, ending with the worst team in the NHL. So the 5th worst team, Seattle, then San Jose, then Montreal, then Chicago, and then Arizona. But I don't have Buffalo in there. Who do I else not have? Philadelphia I don't have in there. So isn't this fun? It's fun. How would you tweak these? Or am I putting you on the spot by saying who your top 5, bottom 5 would be?
No, it's just really difficult early on in the season. I can't remember if you had Carolina in your top 5. No. I don't think you did. I didn't hear Carolina. So that's the one team I would have in my top 5. For sure. I've got Carolina as a top probably 3 team in the NHL right now. But that's the only argument I can make right now when it comes to top 5, bottom 5.
I'm not a Hurricane believer. They got to prove some stuff to me, too. They haven't gone deep in the playoffs. And Freddie Anderson, who's he? They got lit up like a Christmas tree in the preseason in the game against Florida. Max Pacioretty, we know what we think about him. Old licorice legs. Not my term, but I love it. Kokaniemi.
Yeah.
And I love me some Ethan Bear, but the one thing about Ethan Bear, whenever he's on the ice, you know there's a very good chance somebody's going to score, but it's not necessarily his team. So, yeah. Now, the viewers are all agreeing with you, including the viewers about Carolina. And that's the beautiful thing. Here's the thing. People that need to understand something, and this is what I was going to get to last hour, and shocking, the squirrel in me lost it. My train of thought. Just with the NFL, even this week, it's the people need to understand. It's all day, every day. And that's fine. TSN picks up the cheap programming. You see a lot of it in Canada. And just the other day, it's like, who's better? Graphic across the bottom of the screen. Who's better, Bills or Chiefs? And I'm like, why are we talking about this on a Tuesday? They play this week. That'll decide it. So why do we got to talk about it? But I thought, well, we could do the exact same thing. It seems to be working very well for ESPN. So if we talk about these things, but with an NHL spin and a CFL spin and a little bit of the NFL, because our viewers know who it is, it'll work. And it's working. And so, and again, this is the other thing was, we talked about this in our morning meeting today, but people say, why aren't you talking more WHL, Canada West University, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, we're not carried on the radio in these markets, and God knows we've tried. We're on the radio in Atlanta, and they don't give a dog's breakfast about the Regina Pats or the Prince Albert Raiders or the Saskatchewan Huskies. So we give people what they want in the markets where they're consuming our show. Deal? Deal. We had a little fun last hour, and I'd like to continue with this hour with what is the best, and trust me, I'm going through my phone here to get it, Canada's best sports city. Because after listening with Hustler Pedersen yesterday in the interview from Winnipeg Sports Talk, you got the Bombers on the verge of winning a third consecutive Grey Cup. You got the Winnipeg Jets, who are in the conversation. And I feel like we don't need to talk a lot about the Winnipeg Jets because Hustler and Michael Remis have it covered. But who's the better sports town than Winnipeg? That was the sense that we got. So one of a guy wrote on Twitter, Steve G, regarding Winnipeg being, if not Canada's best sports town, then one of Canada's best sports towns. Steve says, so why did they get rid of our sports radio station? So glad that we have Winnipeg Sports Show with Hustler and Mr. Remis single-handedly saving the sanity of so many sports fans in Winnipeg. And that's just where I wanted to spend a second on this. So many media and a lot of fans don't understand the business side of any of what we do. You do. Lee does. It's terrible that TSN whacked the all-sports radio station in Winnipeg, but it was a business decision. It's not an indictment of Winnipeg. This guy's still hurting, Darren, and it's been how long? A year? 2 years?
Yeah. It's been a while. And it's tough. Like, it's really tough. You know, it's a business decision. When the radio station is no longer making money, it has nothing to do with the number of sports fans in the community or not. Unfortunately, that doesn't play into it. But, you know, there's a lot of great sports fans, and we've seen that because there is a need. And that's why, you know, Hustler's been able to pick up the show and have so much success in that market. And that's what you want. But, yeah, forget about the radio station. I mean, just be happy that you've got the program on every day, giving sports fans what they want and what they need. Because without guys like Hustler and without shows like ours, there would be a massive void in the sports talk world.
A third life lesson for everybody. We had 2 last hour. Here's the third, and they're all free. Look ahead. Stop looking back. If anything, enjoy where you are right now. But Darren just said it. Forget about the fact that your all sports radio stations are gone. They're not coming back. And you got great shows every day right now, so get on board. The poll question today for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center. Capital has dealerships all across the Canadian prairies and the state of California. What was the best performance on Wednesday night in the National Hockey League? Was it Connor McDavid's 3 goals and the Oilers win over Vancouver? Was it Mikko Rantanen's 4 assists for Colorado in their 5-3 win over Chicago? or was it John Gibson, the goalie in Anaheim, his 44 saves, or other? And we had a write-in for Jack Campbell, the Oilers goalie, and I'm like, he's going to have some good nights. He didn't have the best performance. I got to vote for McDavid in the 3 goals, I think. How about you?
I think one of those was in an empty net for McDavid. They came a little later, but he did have the assist as well on the first Oiler goal. He had a great night, but it felt like average McDavid is what it felt like. And that's, a compliment to Connor McDavid. I'll go with John Gibson on the 44 saves he had last night. I thought that was a pretty awesome effort from him.
And an assist.
In goal.
If we're going to talk about assists, Gibson had an assist too.
There you go. So even better. I'll take him. That's where I would put my vote. I didn't think the Oilers looked all that good last night. I thought they were okay at times, but I thought, Vancouver controlled a lot of the play. Vancouver put up the shots, but this is what Edmonton's MO has been. They haven't always played the best, but they've got enough firepower and chemistry where they need it that they can go bing, bing, bing and score 3 goals and win the game and punch your lights out. And you're like, how did that happen? We were in their zone the whole game and we lost 3-1 or we lost 5-2 or 5-3 or whatever the game was last night. But that's what Edmonton does. They played pretty well. And after the 3 goals, Jack Campbell was pretty good the rest of the way.
Says the Leafs fan that the Oilers weren't that good last night. We talked about the term deflection. We talked about the term gaslighting last hour. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the term deflection from Darren Dupont.
Yeah.
Teasing you, of course. You hear the siren going?
Yeah.
You can?
Now,
okay.
if I was going to gaslight you, I'd say, Rod, you're hearing things. There's no siren. I don't hear a siren. You're crazy. You're hearing.
That's good. That's a good one. Cloudy and rain, and I'm okay with it. The oppressive heat sliced in half today for just one day by the cloud and rain. Just checking in because we will talk football next hour. We got some great comments here. Jeff Cabillas in Winnipeg says, yep, Winnipeg Sports Talk is filling the void. TSN left by miles and miles. Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg says, meh. TSN Radio Winnipeg was mostly filler content. The good stuff they did, like Hustler and Illegal Curve Hockey, lives on online. CJOB does a lot of sports radio, too. And as Darren says here, we're covering it all and just trying to keep people entertained on a daily basis with what the majority wants. And Patrolman Pete, I want to point this out. He says the best thing about Winnipeg sports culture is that people root for the home teams together. There's none of the weird Toronto factionalism where Leafs fans don't get along with Raptors fans. Now, isn't that interesting? And I've never spent living one day in Toronto and don't plan to, so I don't get into their psyche. But I'll say this about the Winnipeg people. Talked about it last week. When we branched off into our own and I left the Rough Riders, they were the first city to jump on board this show. Right? For the longest time, they were number 2 in viewership region. Now it's Alberta, but I think Winnipeg and Manitoba is number 3. Yeah, Alberta was a little slow coming on board, but we got them now. And for good reason. I don't blame them. I wasn't very nice to them. Don't be a dink. I'm a different guy. We'll be back. CFL, NFL, tonight's NHL, and Luke Gazdic coming up as well. NHL alum. It's the RP Show on Game Plus. YouTube Live, your favorite podcast platform, and WQEE Radio 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Okay, RP show continues from beautiful South Florida. That is a shot from the Keys. Up the coast a little here, it's a little darker. Oh, but it ain't raining. Figure that one out. Let's bring the Moose in now. Like Moose, it literally looks like nighttime, dude.
I was going to say, it looks like it's like 8 o'clock at night. What's going on?
I don't know. But it seems to be okay. I was too busy Mickey Mousing in the break. I didn't look at the comments from the viewers here. Talking about Canada's best sports town. Initially, of course, we said Winnipeg, and people are going off the chain, and then they stop and think about it and go, who's better? Maybe you're right. Moose and I settled on maybe Winnipeg and Calgary. The problem is you got a lot of teams have one good city and then and then an anchor. Edmonton would be the great example of that. The Edmonton Oilers in my top 5 NHL teams, and let's be honest, made it to the Final Four last year in the NHL. But the Elks are on the verge of setting a pro football record for the longest home losing streak. Could break it this week if and when they lose at home to, who'd we say they got? Toronto.
Yeah.
Arlen Bruce III writes, and he says, where's the snow? It's almost the middle of October in Canada. Shh. Usually Halloween, you're lucky if you don't have snow at Halloween in Canada, right?
Yeah, if you haven't had one snowfall, it melts. The first 1 or 2 always melt at some point. But, if you don't have at least one snowfall before Halloween, you're pretty lucky.
On the sports City thing, Chris Jarl in Vancouver watching says, from BC, Winnipeg looks like a great sports town. I see more long-term passionate fans there than I do here. Vancouver's a fickle sports town, and I would suggest emotionally damaged. And that's thanks to their sports team. By the way, introducing ourselves to our viewers and listeners again. I'm from Milestone, Saskatchewan, population 640. Darren's from Wynyard, Saskatchewan, the chicken capital. And what's the worst Halloween prank that anybody in your town pulled in your youth?
Usually the worst things that happened is, your yard would get toilet papered, or there'd be broken eggs all over your door or the side of your house if you're your car, right? That would be the worst Halloween pranks that we had pulled around the area. Thankfully, our house never got hit, but that's the worst. What about Milestone?
Well, what's the population of Wynyard, by the way?
Fluctuates 1,600 to 2,000.
Woo! It's a booming metropolis compared to my hometown of 640 people. You guys get ready with the sound effects here, okay? So Darren's fluctuates. My hometown does not. 640 people, and it's never changed. Because every time a girl gets pregnant, a guy leaves town. Anyways.
Oh, no.
Halloween pranks. It was always the teachers that got, you can say prank, but they were harassed. It was really, their homes were vandalized. And I never felt good about it. But I am not going to name two things before we move on. The rural people will know this. The city people may not. But you see those big round bales out in the fields, people? See those big round, and they have them here in the States too. There used to be the little square bales that you could pick up, and you see them in all the Western ads and stuff. Now it's the big round bales, and it has been for a long time. But guys took the round bale, lit them on fire, and then pushed it down Main Street. Real smart, huh?
Yeah.
Could have burned the whole town down. So there was that. Let it on fire and then run. And then egging the teachers' houses. I felt terrible for Mr. McGarry and Mr. Welsh. And dare I say, it was always the farm kids. And I was a farm kid, but we had a house in town. So these farm kids would all run to our house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Because I was the one they knew, and I was one of them.
And those big round bales, the big round bales will burn for hours. For hours. They'll burn for a long time. At a bush party, sometimes you'd put a round bale with nothing around, light that, and that'd be all you need for the fire for the whole night. One big round bale, and it would burn all night.
Darren's what we call a townie. And we were the farm kids. And I thought, hey, listen, my brother told me, what'd you say, Lee? I think he said they're spent $300 a bale right now for those big round bales. They wouldn't be burning them for bush parties or Halloween pranks, I'll tell you that. Mark in Melfort says, Halloween prank, and I was not in on it. None of us ever were. Putting two roosters in a farmer's pickup. They fought all night, and the cab was a mess.
Oh,
that's a good one.
That's good.
Here's the city people writing in. Some of them want us to change the subject, and that's fine. Andrew, the Quebecer, says, change of subject. Ray Ferraro is leaving TSN. See, I saw that on Facebook this morning. It's becoming our newspaper in society. And I said to the guys in the morning meeting, what's up with Razor? I said, I saw the headline. I think it's starting to rain now. I saw the headline that he was leaving TSN, but I watched him on ESPN last night, paired with Sean McConnell, or whatever, Sean McDonough. So my guess, and then Clark said, producer Clark, that Ferraro is just stepping back from the TSN duties. Wants a life now.
Well, why not, right? It's been, over a dozen years he hasn't been home at Christmas, right? Cammie's doing great things now, coaching. She's got her career going. And look I'm not going to, say claim to know, but he's probably making more money at ESPN than he is at TSN to do regional games in Canada. When he could do national games in the U.S., he was doing both. but he'll still do the ESPN thing and travel all over and do the games and get more time at home. I think it's a win-win for Ray Ferraro.
Oh, boy, now it's really starting to hammer. Boys, we may need to go to a commercial. Stick with me. It's okay to have rain, but when the wind picks up, which it wasn't supposed to do, it could put our broadcast equipment in jeopardy here. And we should move on from all of this, but Andrew says John Liu leaving Montreal to join the Jets. TSM Montreal. Wrong. From what I read, John Liu's going to Winnipeg, which I didn't even know was his hometown, to work for TSN and be the bureau chief there, replacing Sarah Orleski. So he's not going to work for the Jets. Too early to go to a sports break here, so or to a commercial. Luke Gazdic coming in next. You understand my angst, Darren. What does it look like from where you're at?
It just looks dark.
Oh,
I see the rain coming across in sheets there. And is it getting blown into the line A?
Okay. I'm just going to move that. No, it's not being blown into the line A en masse just yet. But I'll remind everybody that it is 1:29 Eastern. It looks like 8 o'clock at night, as Darren said earlier. And here's the thing. Patrolman Pete says, don't get electrocuted, Rod. Yeah. By the way, I will say that, and Andrew watches every day, so I'm going to be nice to these folks, but Andrew just wrote in and said, that's what I meant to say, Rod. Well, you didn't say that. That's why you leave the talking to us and the broadcasters and the people that come up with the content. We'll come up with it. So when you say change the subject, it annoys me a little bit, but just a little bit. Yeah, Jeff the Stamps fan says, wow, it's pouring. Yes, last day here in Florida. As a matter of fact, now Colin in Ottawa says Ray Ferraro is an analyst that virtually no one has a problem with calling a game. He's a legend and will be missed for sure. I like Razor on the games. He's not my favorite, but the one thing that annoys me a little bit, doesn't annoy me, the broadcaster discussion. Everybody likes to get in on the old broadcaster discussion, whether it be your local junior hockey announcer, your local college football announcer, or your NFL guys.
Yeah.
Colin makes a good point. Nobody universally hates Ray Ferraro, although I do have a family member who's not a fan. But I like Razor. I do have a story about him. 2012 World Juniors. I'm calling the games on radio, Sportsnet Radio, on 22 stations across Canada. Razor's calling it with Gord Miller on television. And between the bronze medal game, which Canada won 3-1 over Finland, shout out Boone Jenner with a game winner. It was Russia-Sweden in the gold medal game, and we had about an hour and a half in between games. You know, they flip the rink in between. They usher everybody out. I was sitting there. It was me, Sammy Cosentino, and Andrew Walker were the radio crew, and I was playing Pac-Man on my phone. That was pretty cool, eh? I thought so.
Yeah.
Razor walks up. He's looking over my shoulder. He was standing there for like a minute. I didn't even know he was there. And he goes, are you playing Pac-Man on your phone between medal games of the World Junior? Yeah, and I'm winning.
How about that?
Back to my...
Hell yeah.
So, I don't know what he thought I should be doing. We'd been there for 2 weeks. I knew the rosters. I knew the teams. What were we supposed to do?
I know. You know, it's kind of funny, like, when you have long breaks like that, and everybody does something different to pass the time. But it's just fun moments like that, because maybe Ray would never be on his phone for whatever reason. He thinks that's just crazy. And if he had his head in the book,
we're going to a break.
He's crazy.
We're going to a break. Moose may need to interview Luke Gazdic next. We'll be right back.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Golf, Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
That's not what Florida looks like right now. I promise you that Florida does not look like that right now. Rod is in a bit of a hurricane. I guess maybe it's the after effects of the hurricane that rolled through, but he is underwater. So he may be connected halfway through this segment. And if that's the case, we'll bring him right in. So guys, you let me know where Rod is and where he's at and if he's connecting. Before we bring in Luke Gazdic, let's revisit the poll question today. And the poll question for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center was about last night's great moment. Was it the 4 assists in Colorado? Was it Connor McDavid and his 3-goal effort last night? Or was it indeed John Gibson's 44 save effort? Clark, what are the results here? I'm just trying to pull them up on Twitter. Yeah, and on Twitter, it's McDavid 57%, followed by Mikko Rantanen's 4 assists at 18%, and John Gibson's 44 saves at 17%. So still time to vote at here on YouTube or on our Twitter feed. But let's bring in Luke Gazdic now, who's joining us. I actually don't know where you're joining us from, Luke. You were in Edmonton last week, right? Where are you today?
I am just north of Toronto in a studio in Vaughan, doing my Maple Leads recording here, but yeah, back in the GTA after a little stint in Alberta there.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Former NHL pro, played with the Oilers. Let's go back to last night, and let's go back to actually the last 2 nights. It's great to have hockey back. What's been your initial reaction of the first 48 hours of NHL hockey?
Well, first and foremost, it's just nice to have hockey back. Caught most of the games last night. I'm Toronto born and raised here, so I've been a Leaf fan my entire life. I watched that game. I thought they weren't too good at all. They started off slow and really just, it's like Sheldon Keefe said, it's kind of an unacceptable loss for them to open the season with. Hopefully they turn it around tonight at home versus Wash. Caught a bit of the Oilers game, not a bit. I watched most of the Oilers game, and same thing. They started slow, but man, when Connor McDavid decides he wants to turn it on, he can really turn around a game. So just great to have hockey back.
I want to get into both those things. Starting in Toronto, is it far too early to start? I mean, it is. I don't have to ask you this. It's far too early to start hitting the panic button. But it's similar things that keep creeping in, right? And, you look at this team and where they've gone under Sheldon Keefe. It feels like a team that knows they're better than Montreal and thinks that they can score their way out of it late in the game. They go down 3-2 late in that third period and then think, okay, we can't lose this game. And bang, minute later, William Nylander scores, the game's tied again. And then they sit back and get complacent and lose the game with 17 seconds left. Where do you start to look at what's wrong with Toronto and why this group isn't, more dominant or better consistently than they have been?
I think two words you mentioned there were huge. It's complacency and consistency. This is a team that seems to get leads and becomes complacent. I don't know if it's a dressing room thing, but it does start from top to bottom. And it's something we've seen before. They're going to have to be getting over this hump. You can't be coming from behind in games and having to rally just around Austin Matthews and counting on him to score all the goals. If that's any indication of where the next 6-7 months are going to be here for the Leafs, they're going to have a long year. Definitely, thought they could have had that one last night, but the consistency isn't just over every game. As a player, when I was playing, it was shift by shift, game by game, week by week. Break it up in little segments here, but they definitely have to be better in a lot of areas.
And on the other side, for the Oilers, getting behind in games, I thought the Canucks played pretty well last night. They, controlled a lot of the possession time. They were in Edmonton's zone. They racked up a lot of shots and scoring chances and had a 3-1 lead. But Edmonton's a team that can score their way out of problems. When they want to flip a switch, they'll put 3 or 4 goals in the back of the net in a 5-6 minute span. And they do that consistency. Do you ever see that catching up with this group? Or is this group just, has enough high-end talent that's not going to be a problem?
No, it'll catch up. They can't just depend on 97 and 29 and Connor and Leon every night. But you see that on a regular basis. But these 3-0 wins, you're going to play teams no knock to Vancouver, but you're going to be in a tough Pacific Division where if you spot Calgary, 3 goals there, even at a gritty team like LA down there, they're a little pesky. Some of these teams, I know Colorado's not back in Central, but you give the Avs a 3-0 lead, you're in one for the rest of the game. So you can't really be depending on those guys, but the skill is unmatched there between not just those two guys, but you add Evander Kane on that top left, and it's kind of a scary offense for the Oilers. You watched that second power play they had last night where it went tic-tac-toe from Hyman to Nuge and Leon, and it's fun to watch.
A power play is lethal. I don't know that there's a better power play in the National Hockey League today than the Edmonton Oilers. It's unbelievable to watch them play. Look, a little bit further south, the Calgary Flames open their season tonight. They're really excited in Calgary. They think this team might be even better than the team last year. And talking to those connected to the team, including Peter Labardius, who's on their radio calls, he thinks in his time, this is the best Calgary Flames team he's seen. Is that the sense that you're getting from where you are now, that this Flames team is even better and maybe a bigger threat to contend for a Stanley Cup than they were a year ago?
I'd have to agree with that. If you would have told me a couple of years ago, you take Monahan, Giordano, Goudreau, to Chucky out of that lineup, that was their core. And you're adding in some really, really high-end, top-level talent in Jonathan Huberdeau. I think Mackenzie Weegar is a bit of a dark horse in this trade. I think he's going to be great for their back end. And you go and sign Nazem Kadri, now a Stanley Cup champion, to a long-term deal. Markstrom and Nets. This is a roster it's scary there in that Pacific Division. I'm sad that Battle of Alberta is only happening 3 times this year, and the first one will be on Saturday because I think this could be a really, really exciting match there in the province of Alberta. But the Flames are going to be a real problem down there. I think not just in the Pacific, but the rest of the league. I put them as definite Stanley Cup contenders.
You've got Colorado to start, so big test right out of the gate for the Calgary Flames, but it is at home. The other one I wanted to ask you about was the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're home to the Coyotes tonight. We're not looking at Arizona as being any sort of a threat, but where are the Pittsburgh Penguins at right now? Because we had a lot of viewers throughout the state of Pennsylvania and Penguin fans that watch this program. They've retained the big three in Malkin, Crosby, and Letang together. Can this group get one more shot at the Cup? Because last year I thought they were close. I thought they were better than the Rangers in that series. Probably, they'll look back and think they should have won that series. Can they get back there and try and take a run at one more Stanley Cup in Pittsburgh?
It's such an interesting situation there in Pitt. I actually played junior hockey in the OHL in Erie, Pennsylvania. It's about an hour and a half away. So Pitt was one of the teams I watched a lot coming up. And so I got to see the trio who, everyone forgets about Malkin too. I still think he's a top player in the NHL. I know he's getting a little older, but I think it's just a personal opinion. I would love to see one more hefty run from the Pens. I'd love to see Sid raise that cup one more time. I think it's doable. They have added some pieces and put some people in place. I really love the Jeff Petrie move. He was a teammate of mine in Edmonton. I think he's going to be huge for their back end. I think it's possible. It'll be tough, but add a couple pieces to that roster, and I'd love to see Sid raise it over his head once more before it's all said and done.
Yeah, I think we all would too. I mean, we were not quite ready to see the torch be passed completely. I know with Nathan McKinnon and Connor McDavid, they're the new group, but I don't think we're ready to let Sidney Crosby just skate off into the sunset.
No, not at all. He's one of my favorite players of all time, just like a lot of Canadians. I had the chance to meet him, and even just playing against him when I was with Edmonton and with Jersey, even in warm-up, I just remember being so starstruck by this guy. And Edmonton, we ever played was at Rexall Arena in Edmonton. We got caught on a long icing. It was me and Boyd Gordon, Matt Hendricks on the ice, fourth line. And I'm gassed after about a minute and a half, and I look over the Pens board and I see Kunitz, Malkin, Crosby come on, and I just remember Boyd Gordon looked at me and just said, "Let's get this puck out. Let's get off quick here." But definitely starstruck and really, really cool to play against him throughout my career.
Absolutely. Did you get the puck out?
Right away we did, and I don't think I've skated faster to a bench in my career.
Yeah, no kidding. You'd be off quickly. That was one of the most dangerous units. I mean, I was right in the heart of their runs, and when Pittsburgh was so good, man. Look, there's a couple interesting teams we're looking at. Ottawa's one, Detroit's another. Teams with bright futures that maybe aren't ready there yet. But another team that comes up is the Buffalo Sabres, that we just have trouble reading. I've looked at the Buffalo Sabres roster on paper the last, 4 or 5 years, and it's been pretty good. Like, there's some pieces there, and there's some names on that roster, but they, for whatever reason, they can't get out of their own way. Well, now Don Granato's been extended. They took a step forward last year. Where is Buffalo in your mind in terms of their trajectory, and who might be a team that we need to pay some attention to that we're maybe not talking about early on in the season?
So Buffalo's just not there yet, in my opinion. But man, they have some high-end young talent. This Owen Power, he is my futures pick for Calder Trophy this year. He's going to be an absolute force in this league. But where I see Buffalo really struggling is in net. You got a 41-year-old Craig Anderson in there, who's a great veteran player. He's going to make the saves when you need to, but he has a history of injuries. And then kind of a young, unproven Eric Comrie, who's a good goaltender too, but I don't know if that's the tandem that's going to help Buffalo. They have a young kid. The name is he's a Finnish kid playing in Rochester, so I'm sure he's just biding his time. But a good young team to watch. I just don't know about right away. The team that I love, and I hate to say this because I'm a Toronto guy, is Ottawa. I think the Sens, and it was really the summer of Pierre Dorion. He put in some good moves, adding Claude and getting Alex Brinkett. And it's going to be an exciting team to watch too. I think I'll be glued to the couch on Saturday for Hockey Night in Canada. We got the Battle of Ontario and the Battle of Alberta back to back. So I'm going to put in a nice 6-hour shift on the couch on Saturday night.
That's going to be awesome. Rod and I both picked Detroit as a team that could get into the playoffs this year or be the closest, but it might be Ottawa. That might be the most ready to win now, adding to Brinkett and adding Giroux and going in that direction. Hey, before we let you go, tell us about Maple Leads and what's going on with you.
So we, along with Jake Levinsky and Darryl Winkler, our exec VP, and we got the three of us working on a platform called Maple Leads that we started almost 6 months ago now. We wanted to make content for Canadians. It's fun. We don't take ourselves too seriously. Betting should be fun. We take a lot of plus money bets. We're dialed in on a lot of Canadians, so it's a lot of Canadian athletes or Canadian teams. We wanted to make it look good, so it's shot professionally. We have broadcast cameras, and you know what? It's more than picks. We have interviews. We got stories from me. I don't know if you want to hear all the stories from me, but I got some good ones in the bank. And we have a couple features. We got a monthly feature called "Can Luke Do This?" where I go and try other sports. We've done lacrosse and MMA. So we're streaming on all platforms. We're on Twitter. Twitter is at Maple Leads Can. Maple Leads on Instagram and TikTok. Wherever you watch your content, we're on there. So we're growing. And like I said, if you're into sports betting or any sports related stuff, Maple Leads is the thing for you. And I've had a great time doing it. It wasn't the easiest post-career trying to figure out what to do. And this has been a nice transition getting to stay in the sports world.
Okay, finally, what's the one sport that you haven't tried yet or the game that you're going to need to do? What's on your bucket list?
Curling. We were supposed to set up some curling, but it fell through. We didn't get to do it, but I've never curled before, and it's one of those things. I always watch the Brier and the Scotties. I like curling, and I've never got to try it before, so we'll see how clumsy or how accurate I can be on the ice. So I'd like to try curling for sure.
Awesome stuff. Well, I'm sure we'll make that happen. Can't wait to watch it, Luke. Appreciate the time here and all the best with everything going on.
No, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Luke Gazdic. And again, follow Maple Leads on social media. Follow Luke Gazdic on Twitter and Instagram. We'll see if Rod's dried off yet and safe from the storm and potentially go back to Florida for overtime. If not, back for one more segment with just me and you, which means I'll dial up the comments and check in with what's going on. Viewer Takeover is next here on the RP Show, Facebook and YouTube Live. And you're watching as well across Canada and the U.S. on Game Plus TV.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC. making back to busy easy. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
I don't know if this is a live look into the beach here in Florida or not, but we'll check in and find out and see what we're dealing with as we welcome you back into the RP show. And thankful to get a couple of practice swings in here this morning/afternoon ahead of hosting tomorrow's show when Rod is on the road. So do we got the boss now? Rod, is he in safe ground? Hey, you look a lot more relaxed and comfortable. I still hear the rain, but it looks like there's a little bit of sun popping up. Or at least better light on your face.
Is it better light? I don't know, man. I have no lighting expert. Great. Well, maybe we should bring in a lighting person for the next time I come back to Florida. But this is kind of what you do when we're at Grey Eagle. You put the lights a lot lower than I do. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm a career radio guy. How many times have I told you guys that? I'm a radio guy. You worry about the look, but it's weird how the universe goes, Moose, and how things happen, as you know, and I'm big into universe stuff. The last show we did before I came to Canada in the summer or springtime, one of them, we got flooded out and I almost got electrocuted.
Right.
And the thing is, we have a lot of new viewers to this show that just met me, and I also, because I had a few people texting to see if I was still alive, coincidentally, they're all hockey people, right? They've known me a long time. I'm cocky. I'm Bo Levi Mitchell type cocky. So the longer that I went here, and I've been here 2 months, I get closer and closer and closer to the screen because I like it, being closer to the trees and the fresh air, right? The last day, hurricane, well, not a hurricane, but this huge storm hits, and I get soaked again. Every day I kept moving closer and closer and closer and closer to the screen, and then wango! The world kicks you in the nuts. And I got it today. So the thing is, you can be cocky, and I think that's what makes successful people successful. But somewhere along the line, you're going to get kicked in the junk. And today that happened. And it's interesting. So Allie writes and says it is better lighting. Should I have paid attention to what you were doing?
I don't know. It looks fantastic right now.
We've done 2 months of shows here.
You look comfortable, relaxed. It's great.
Well, Ryan in Saratoga, New York says, King Rod of Dodge City. Sounds like a good title. Pring says, looks like Rod is in his king's chair. Well, I didn't have a microphone stand that fit too well. That's the fun thing about this show is figuring stuff out as we go along. And I told you I went down to Guitar Center. It's a thing. And a guy helped me out. His name was Kenny. He's a New York Jets fan, and when I told him that I hosted a sports talk show on television, he was like, ooh, they're all excited. They want to help you out. It's what they do. They get fired up. It wasn't just a job, Kenny. You know what I mean? He wanted to give us the best stuff. So are you telling me, and of course our listeners on the radio in Atlanta right now have no idea what I'm talking about in terms of lighting and so forth, but are you telling me that the light should be coming from down below as opposed to from up above? Because, well, everywhere I've been my whole life, the lights have been above.
I know. And traditionally, I would think that would be the case. But for whatever reason, how you're lighting it now looks so good. And if the viewers can play along here, because we've got not a lot of time, you've got the wall behind you, the half wall of the Line A. And then you've got the vegetation over top that looks like a full, lush rainforest. Like, that's kind of what I think you're in here, is a rainforest. It looks outstanding.
Last minute of play in the RP show today. Kevin, the medium, just tuned in. Kevin, our medium. He goes, glad you're okay. I felt your anxiety hit me during a morning session. It freaked me out. That's a fact. Sometimes I'll wake up and be a little off, and Kevin will write or call and go, you okay, bro? He feels it. I don't know how this stuff works. From WQEE, Ryan O'Radio. He's just written and said, another great show. Florida weather. LOL. I did see the comments from all the viewers that love live broadcasts because you never know what's going to happen. All right, Moose. Thanks. Good job, buddy.
Safe travels.
Yeah. I'll see you on the radio. See everybody tomorrow. Thank you.
LFG.
Who has more fun than us?
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. How about Good one, Rod. Bob's your uncle.